100 tips for a Tarkov player. You didn't expect this. I am more than confident that each of you will find something useful here. Let's not delay and start right away. Here we go. 1. Check the plates in armor, especially 6B23 Kirlasa Zhuk Press. They can have class 5 plates insert. 2. A very budget option for class 5 is to exchange the plates at the third paper and then buy 6B23 at the flea market. As a result, the armor will cost you about 70k. 3. Vaulting is a quieter way to get somewhere than jumping, so use it whenever possible. 4. Pay attention to the debuffs of different weapon magazines. Some may reload very slowly like the P19, while others like the AK with 30 rounds reload quickly. 5. AHF1, Perfoturan and Zagustin. These 3 medications stop bleeding. Check their prices on the flea market and compare them. Their functionality is similar, but prices often fluctuate. 6. Check the debuffs of the injectors you carry. Many of them cause significant damage to your energy or hydration, so keep that in mind. 7. Melee weapons are practically useless and often just add unnecessary weight. It's better not to take them, especially since you can steal knives or even axes from bots. 8. Melee weapons make sense if you are going to interchange or ground zero, in case you need to break glass without wasting ammo. 9. Keep in mind that moving at minimum speed in full crouch is silent. 10. To bait an opponent into action, you don't have to throw the grenade completely. Sometimes just taking it out and hiding it can make the enemy push you, hearing the sound of a grenade being pulled out. 11. If you delay the animation of using food, water, painkillers or healing and then cancel it, you may consume the resource without receiving any benefits. However, debuffs like energy or hydration reduction will still apply. 12. An interesting option is to bind scope elevation to the mouse wheel. It makes it very convenient to change it quickly. 13. You can throw a grenade while running. Just click on the throw and start running. It can be very useful. 14. You can throw a grenade further with a jump. 15. KS-23, besides its intimidating appearance, can load a blinding star cartridge. It can be crafted and is useful for completing quests involving kills. However, if you equip your teammate with such a boomstick, then you can close such quests as the Huntsman Path, Secured Perimeter, where you need to kill in offices, Cold-Blooded and Grenadier. Yes, in general, any quest where you need to kill under some conditions in a factory. 16. If you take a headshot and get a concussion, you can remove it with the Propital. 17. Propital is the only painkiller that doesn't affect hydration and energy. Useful when they are running low and you still need pain relief. 18. The medical backpack is quite spacious and about 10 times cheaper than a med case. It holds almost as much but is slightly larger. 19. It's very convenient to carry a dog tag case with you, so you don't have to deal with the dog tags after raid and can exchange them from what you like from traders at once. I don't encourage it, but I play like this myself. 20. Theoretically, you can bait an enemy into shooting by shining your weapon with a flashlight from around the corner. Personally, this has never helped me. 21. Turning on the flashlight on a weapon and dropping it on the floor will keep it lit. This can be used for traps if you have the time for it. 22. Playing as a Scav, you can call and make a bot follow you by showing an appropriate gesture. 23. Don't approach bosses on a Scav if your reputation is below 6. They will beat you up. 24. On a Scav run, you can be deceived by being asked to shoot a leg for a quest or something else. Don't fall for it. It's a scam, and you'll get killed. 25. Also, if someone asks you to follow them, they might deceive you and lead you to a boss who will kill you. 26. When playing as a PMC and a Scav invites you to exit together, ask him to show a knife first and let him go ahead of you. If he draws a weapon, eliminate him. 27. Always inspect the stairs thoroughly. There is the red method in which person hides head down in a corner. If you don't check the ladder completely, he will kill you. 28. An infrared flashlight is not useless. You will be able to see much better with NVGs. Useful tool. 28. Don't Don't play with the laser sight on at night. It's a suicide. You can be seen from about 100 meters away. 30. Don't go into race without NVG later than 2000 hours and not earlier than 6 o'clock if you want to see anything. 31. At interchange, in customs dorms and in reserve basements, always adjust NVIDIA or at least post-effects. Without it, you won't see anything. There's already a video on the channel. 32. Obtain an injector case. It's crucial. Carry Propital, ETG, Mule, Adrenaline and something to stop bleeding. That's my minimum kit. 33. Use barter trades. Super rare models, especially those needed for gunsmith quests, can be obtained for a fraction of the price through barters instead of paying a fortune on the flea market. Don't forget to subscribe, there will be hundreds more guides here. 34. If you see that an enemy quickly spotted you and left, don't linger in the same position. He will come back, pre-firing and kill you. Change your location. 35. Never stay in open areas without cover. Try to sprint through them. It could be a road, a platform, or even corridor inside the building. 36. Keep an eye on stamina. Always maintain it a level, especially during PvP, to be able to change your position at any moment. 37. A sitting enemy is much more difficult to spot than a moving one, but it is easier to hit a sitting person. Remember where you are and what are you doing. If you are in the bushes, do not move. If you're in the open, strafe and run. 38. If you start shooting parallel to aiming, you will enter the sight for a long time. Be prepared for that. 39. An angle grip is expensive and not the best stat-wise, but the middle finger of your hand always point to the center in the horizontal plane of the screen. It helps with the orientation when shooting from the hip. 40. Chewing gum attached to the center of the monitor doesn't work. There's barrel inertia when moving. The characters breathing. We change the point of aim from the hip. Personally, the point of the screen only confuses me, but it can be useful if you statically check an angle, but again, in my opinion, more harm than good. 41. Learn to bunny hop. It's done by jumping every second or fourth step. It allows you to hop through corridors, check an enemy around the corner and jump on various objects. It's easy, the main thing is to get used to it. 42. To reduce the cooldown for the Scav, level up the intelligence center, as well as loyalty with the fans. 43. To level up loyalty with the fans, you don't necessarily have to play on the Scav in principle. Just go out on paid exits by car, as well as on joint ones with the Scavs. 44. To level up loyalty with the fans, don't use the same exit. Each repeated use reduces the amount of reputation given. 45. To distinguish a Scav from a PMC, look at the shoes. Scav ones are usually dirty. 46. Even if you don't play as a Scav, walk them on the factory. In 3 minutes you can easily get 1, maybe 300k, and if you are lucky with the lab card, even more. 47. If you are looking for valuables, check safes. Most of them are in customs dorms. 48. Control plus LMB is to put something in your backpack. Alt plus LMB is to wear it. Shift plus LMB is to move the item to the sorting table. 49. When using a preset for ammunition, you can insert tracer rounds into the middle of the magazine to know when you fired half of it during PvP. 50. The antique axe has no difference in animation between LMB and RMB attacks, but with the RMB it deals more damage. 51. Try negotiating with enemies through voice chat. Sometimes it can be useful, but don't be a fool. Don't agree to come out with the melee weapons if the other person doesn't fulfill the same conditions. 52. The most common bait is when one enemy provokes you by shouting something in voice, and the second one doesn't make a sound. Typically, these guys sit in diagonally different corners of the room, so immediately check the opposite corner from where you had a sound. But again, don't overdo it. 53. If you hear endless running, there are 2 options. Someone disconnected detected or a bot got stuck. The bait with running into the wall no longer exists. They removed the possibility of its implementation. 54. Always prioritize healing the chest and the head first. Even if you have bleeding, first heal them, and only then close the bleedings. These are the only body parts that cannot be stitched with the surf kit or CMS. 55. The head can be only turned black from bleeding. If you get hungry, dehydrate, or receive any damage to it, you will die immediately. 56. Hiding insured items by throwing them off the edge of the map or into the water guarantees you will get them. 57. Quacks indoors or elsewhere can be useful to anticipate when to pre-fire at enemy. 58. Glass in Kiba cannot be penetrated by any cartridge. 59. Trees can be penetrated, but not all of them, and they reduce damage. 60. Thermal sights see no further than 250 meters, any of them. 61. Scavs can almost approach rogues point blank, and they won't touch him. Also, killing them won't affect your reputation. 62. If there's a lag at the beginning of a raid, it means there's no boss on the location. If there's no lag, the boss may be on the map. It doesn't always work, but still. 63. At night, most bosses and rogues under armor and blinded, so it's easier to kill them. 64. Farming almost any boss becomes much easier if you carry grenades with you and throw them at the last one. This way you will at least get information and at most be able to ambush and kill. 65. You can pretend to be a Scav, playing as a PMC. For you, Sec, wear blue clothes for this. For Bear, there are many options to look like a Scav much more. But don't forget to equip yourself with the respirator and bomber. 66. Many cartridges have a debuff in the form of increasing recoil, so if you see good damage stats, don't rush to be happy. For example, Magnum cartridges can give you a very unpleasant surprise. 67. There is a bug when you hear a sudden, not very loud, short sound like a step. From the side where you heard it, an enemy is running somewhere, but your hearing radius is not enough to clearly understand it. 68. To understand from which side certain sounds come, turn your character in different directions. This way you will understand. 69. You can attach a flashlight to the helmet. This is useful if you play with the ROB or Weapon Hunter, on which it cannot be attached. 70. If you have normal FPS everywhere, except for the streets of Tarkov, then simply set the quality of textures you are comfortable with, as for all other locations, and simply check the box to reduce resolution only on the streets. 71. Even a pair of graphic cards is enough to cover fuel cost and come out ahead. 72. My principle of leveling up a Bitcoin farm is to play the interchange. If I find a graphic card and take it out, I sell it on the flea market. If I die, I insert it into the farm. 73. If you need euros for a solar panel or something else, grab grenade boxes and sell them on the flea market. 74. If you don't need dollars or euros, put filters for these currencies on the flea market. Check the prices of valuables. Perhaps there's an option to buy something and resell it to the therapist. 75. A side sight will be useful if your weapon has low ergonomics. You aim with it much faster. 76. Installing a huge magazine using a side sight, optics and a long barrel is of course a good idea. However, each such attachment increases the weight of the weapon, so you become less agile and in aiming mode you cannot stay for a long time. 77. Fighting one against a party should not be one against all. You should try to create a situation where you fighting one-on-one with each one. Of course, it's easier said than done. 78. Grenades can replace a teammate. They allows you to check the necessary angles, make the enemy stressed. You can use a grenade explosion as a smoke screen, which is useful in corridors, and also display the enemy from his good position. 79. To understand where the grenade will fly, look at the index finger. It roughly shows where you're aiming. 80. If you have critical food and water level, try to eat food first and then drink water. Values below 0 cannot fall, and most food reduces water. 81. Car first aid kit is of course a cheap thing, but it cannot stop large bleeding. 82. The easiest and cheapest way to find Ledix is to farm user camp on the woods. This spawns here on this location. 83. A compass can help you understand where the western or eastern part of the sanatorium is. 84. With the help of a compass, you can tell your teammate the degree at which you see the enemy. 85. To navigate any location, highlight the main anchors for yourself. At customs, it's a customs house, dorms, construction sites, gas station, etc. If you remember how these buildings are located relatively to each other, you will understand where you much easier. 86. When playing in a party to avoid team kills, memorize what your teammate is wearing, and always tell each other when changing equipment during the raid. 87. The longer you play in the same gear, the more you get used to your character. It all has its debuffs that reduce your agility and senses. 88. Armor is not protection, it's a minimal chance not to die, so don't feel like a hero wearing a class 5 or 6 armor. 89. The longer you stay in the raid, the more likely that there will be a player Scav behind you, so it's better not to linger. After 20 minutes, there is no guard. 90. When choosing a backpack, in addition to the capacity parameter, also look at the weight parameter. Sometimes the choice becomes obvious, for example the Scav backpack is quite a piece of junk. 91. Aiming makes a sound. Turning in place too. Going into inventory is not silent, just like changing the fire mode. But loading rounds is not, and if you move at a minimum speed, your turns will be silent. 92. Don't play in a party of more than 3 people if you don't plan to play on a regular basis. It's torture for everyone. 93. The best purchase in the game is a junk box, so immediately save up for it. You will be grateful. 94. The best exchange for a dog tags is for an item case. Very profitable. 95. To let other player Scavs know that you are player Scav, press F1. Or better, click twice. Also, you can ask him to confirm his identity in the same way. 96. If you become friends with someone during the raid, you can ask them to tell you their nickname. They just need to come up and press Y for this. It will literally show you what they are called. 97. The more bots you kill in one place, the more they will gather at the same point. 98. By pressing O twice, you can see that some exit is glowing green. If it's a car exit, someone has transferred money. If it's an interchange and the safe exit is glowing, it means power has been supplied. 99. When using microcollimators, keep an eye on the need to install a raising bar, otherwise the site may be very messed up. 100. If you can't find certain items for the copper, one of the good options is to farm stations on locations. Here are 100 tips for playing Escape from Tarkov. Write in the comments what you didn't know. I would be grateful if you subscribe. Good luck, see you next time. Bye bye.